When we talk about dementia care, we almost always focus on what kind of support someone is getting. But what if how that support is delivered is actually just as important? Today, we're going to dive into a part of care that can honestly change everything. And it all starts with a very common, very frustrating daily struggle.
This quote, wow, it just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? It's a daily battle for so many caregivers. You've got the right medicine, the perfect supplement, but what good is any of it if you can't even get them to take it? It's an incredibly tough spot to be in, and it really makes you stop and think, what if the problem isn't the person, but the pill itself?
When most of us think about dementia, memory loss is the first thing that comes to mind, but that is just the tip of the iceberg. As we can see here underneath the surface, there's this whole tangled web of challenges that make up the real day-to-day reality for caregivers.
And this really lays out that reality perfectly. It can become this vicious cycle, right? You're trying to get cooperation from someone who's already confused. You're dealing with the physical challenge of swallowing, all while trying to stick to a strict medication schedule. Well, this can lead to waking up at night, which then causes even more confusion the next day. And the whole thing just builds and builds, leading to this deep exhaustion for everybody involved. It just snowballs.
So all of this brings us to a really powerful question. What if we could just sidestep one of the biggest hurdles of the day? I mean, what if the whole struggle of swallowing a pill could be taken completely out of the equation? This is where a totally different kind of approach comes into play.
And that different approach is something called brain vitality. It's designed specifically to tackle that delivery problem we've been talking about by completely changing how support is given and, maybe more importantly, how it's received.
So what exactly is it? Well, first off, it's not a pill. It's not a liquid, not a powder. It's a 100% external herbal pouch. The whole idea is built around giving support without ever asking the person to swallow or ingest a single thing.
And this breaks down just how simple it is. So first, it's completely external. The caregiver just applies it gently to the skin, right at the navel. That means, of course, zero swallowing is required. And this last part is key. Because it's caregiver applied, it takes away the need for cooperation or even memory from the person receiving care.
When you see it laid out side by side like this, the difference is it's night and day, really. On one side, you've got the pill battle. That means you need cooperation, there are swallowing risks, maybe an unpleasant taste, and it can turn into this daily conflict. But on the other side, the pouch approach, well, it's just caregiver applied. No swallowing, no taste, and it's designed to get rid of that battle altogether.
And look, the whole goal here isn't to add another complicated step to a routine that's already overwhelming. It's actually the exact opposite. The whole idea is to give support in a way that just fits seamlessly into the reality of at-home care, to make things simpler, not harder.
This is such a critical insight. Of course, improving cognitive function is the long-term hope, but for families who are in the thick of it every single day, that's often not the most urgent need. The first signs of relief they're desperate for are usually much more practical.
A lot of times, it starts with something as simple as this: a calmer night. Just one night with fewer interruptions, a little more peaceful, restorative sleep for both the person with dementia and for their caregiver. That alone can feel like a massive win.
And a calmer night often leads to less disruption during the day, fewer moments of agitation or confusion. That can make the whole environment feel more stable and predictable for everyone.
And for the caregiver, my goodness, this can be everything. That little bit of extra rest is what recharges the batteries. It's what makes it possible to get up and face the next day with a bit more patience and energy.
And ultimately, it all adds up to this. It's about restoring a sense of control. That feeling that life, it's still hard, but it's not constantly spiraling anymore. It's about getting a foothold and just making things feel manageable again.
And that is why this whole idea is so important. The delivery method isn't just some tiny detail. It can be the absolute key to unlocking these huge improvements in quality of life.
This quote just nails it. You can have the most amazing treatment in the world, but it's completely useless if you can't actually give it to someone without causing a huge amount of distress. For any kind of support to really help, it has to fit into the real, messy, unpredictable world of daily care.
For so many families, there just comes a point where the whole pill-based system, it just breaks down. The resistance gets too strong, the swallowing risks get too high, and that daily battle just becomes too draining.
And when that happens, it's not a failure, it's a signal. It's a sign that it's time to look for a different form of support, one that's actually designed for the reality you're living in right now.
So what does that different form look like? Well, it's external, so it avoids all those internal challenges. It's gentle, because it respects the fragility of the whole situation. And it's caregiver applied,
which puts the control and the consistency back where it needs to be, in the hands of the person giving the care.
And in the end, that's the real goal, isn't it? It's about creating more space for those small human moments of connection. You know, the quiet mornings, the brief looks of recognition, the peaceful evenings. This kind of approach is about designing support that's built not just for the condition, but for the life that's still being lived, and for all those moments that truly matter most.